Okay everybody, welcome back to the second part of my ground tutorial and the third episode in the series. So, in this hopefully shorter video, I'm just going to quickly go through the weak spots of various tanks and then give my opinion on what you should play as a beginner. So, starting off with America and the Shermans, if you go to preview, and this is helpful, you can do it yourself, go to armour and then click protection analysis. Common weak spots. Firstly, the machine gunner port, and then secondly, not on this one, this is a M4 Sherman, it has this plate welded here. However, if you go to another Sherman, say, sorry, my throat, M4A1, there is no plate welded across here, and that is a weak spot, and actually a better one to aim for than that, because this one will knock out the gunner and the commander. This one will only knock out the machine gunner, he can still fire at you. And then for jumbos, the port. This one here doesn't work anymore. So yeah, aim for the machine gun port. Okay. Panzer IVs basically anywhere on the front plate if they're not angled. Smack them there or there. Panzer IVs are pretty easy pickings. Panthers. Gun mantlet is the best place, or the turret cheeks. Obviously most tanks are easier to kill from the sides, but we're looking at frontal weak spots. Tiger 1s. Turret cheeks though, generally most contemporary tanks have enough pen in their rounds to get through here. However, if there's a smart Tiger player, he'll have angled this plate, in which case it becomes quite thick. So yeah, turret cheeks or front plate if he's not angled. Russia. P-34s. If you don't have a round, they'll go straight through the front plate. Aim for the turret cheeks. It only has 2 crew in the turret, so it's generally relatively easy to get rid of both of them. And then you'd sometimes have to wait for the gunner to come back if you don't have an APHE shell. Then KV tanks. Generally driver's port, or sometimes turret cheeks if you have enough pen. By the way, if I'm getting anything wrong and you know where it should be, please leave that in the comments. I'm just giving from my experience. Okay. Valentines through the driver's port. Churchills. Where are we? On the left hand side here, it's thinner, or else through the turret cheeks. But yeah, that's the best spot to aim. Not that side. And then once you get up to Centurions, Sorry, keep pressing the wrong one. Once you get up to the Centurions, all British tanks start to have really weak lower plates, so just aim for there. Japan, anywhere in the general direction. China, it's just a case of knowing where to aim on the specific tank, because they're all imported tanks. Italy, either an imported tank or just anywhere in the vicinity. France, anywhere in the vicinity except for the B ones. My experience in here is the best place because it's the flattest. Sweden, they're either imported tanks or very little armour, so generally anywhere within the vicinity. The Largo one at its BR can sometimes be a bit difficult. But, yeah. As a general rule, aim for flat spots. And then Israel. They're mostly imports or too high of a BR for me to really know what I'm talking about, so I'm going to leave Israel. So, that being said, what nation should you choose as a beginner? My opinion is probably going to be a bit of a cop-out. However, I would say first either Germany, because of the insane autocannons. Bearing in mind Germany does require a bit more brain a bit afterwards, and generally most of your teammates are a bit brain dead. Or else the Soviets. The only issue with the Soviets is they don't have very good gun depression. The main issue with the Germans is lack of armour at higher tiers, but they're both pretty good beginner friendly. The other one of the big three, America, I would actually say wait on for a bit. They're good, but they're not as noob friendly as Germany and the USSR because they don't have APHE shells in their early tanks. Now, Great Britain's pretty good if you have had a little bit of experience. They require a bit of thinking because of the lack of APHE, and often the tanks are quite slow, but most of them have decent armour or else decent penetration on their guns. Japan, from what I've heard, I've never actually tried playing Japan, good armour, terrible armour, decent guns once you get past a point. China, all imports. Italy, paper thin, but they do get some decent quick firing guns. And they also get imported German and American stuff. That is the most hated tank. Oh, it's moved up in BR quite a bit since I last saw. That's the most hated tank in the history of War Thunder. Goes 115 km an hour with a 20mm autocannon. Yeah. France, stick away from. Once you've had some experience, by that, start grinding with the overseas stuff and the Biz and the 2C, and you're fine. Avoid these for the sake of your sanity. Sweden, once you've had a bit of practice, can be quite good because they've got excellent guns on pretty average chassis. This thing, average chassis, it's a 2.7 chassis, however it's got a 3.9 second reload. That's the lowest BR tank with heat FS. They're all great guns on terrible chassis. In Israel, you can't start off as a beginner because you need to have rank 5 in either Britain, America or France, or buy a premium, but I wouldn't recommend that straight away. So yes, that's my 2 cents on tanks, bearing in mind I am not the most experienced tank driver in the world, so if you have anything that I've missed, please leave those in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one.